It's Amy, your Gray Girlfriend, and welcome to the Gray Girlfriend's Guide to Life podcast. First, let me say that I'm so happy and grateful that you're here with me. Out of the more than 3 million podcasts available, you chose this one, so thank you. This podcast was created for high-achieving women, real women who face and conquer real challenges, real women who are ready to take their lives to the next level. Between us all, we've been through it all, and I'm here to tell you, you can thrive despite it. So whether you're commuting to or from work or doing one of the other 50,000 things you do on a weekly basis, pop in your earbuds, my friend, and let's go. Today's episode is entitled, If You Think That Breaking Up is Hard to Do, Just Wait Until You Try to Forgive. Most of us have heard it since we were old enough to hold a grudge. You get into a squabble with your sister and your mother steps in and says, "Hey, stop fighting, you two. Forgive each other. It's the right thing to do." And you look at your mother and you say, "But she didn't say she was sorry." Then your mother looks at your sister and says, "Tell your sister you're sorry." Your sister looks at you and rolls her eyes and says sarcastically, "Sorry." Then your mother says, "There, she says she was sorry. Now go outside and play." While this scenario may be oversimplified for some, it is shockingly accurate for many of us. The manner in which conflict is handled in our childhood home models how we handle conflict once we leave it. Being on the receiving end of offenses without sincere apologies, being on the receiving end of apologies shrouded in dysfunction, teaches us that offenders are not required to apologize, or that they can say they're sorry without any change in behavior, or worse, that despite your experiencing the offense, you were taught there was no offense. If the offenses include abuse or neglect, or even a steady stream of lies or an assortment of betrayals, it's not so easy to forgive, especially if the offender appears charming to those who don't live under the same roof. Your hurts run deep, and the offender's popularity with the public runs high. Throw religion into the dysfunctional mix, and you have offenders who believe their actions have biblical backing and victims who are expected to display a Christ-like capacity to turn the other cheek in perpetuity. Not only are you disappointing the ones who claim to love you the most by your lack of perfection, but you believe that you are disappointing your Creator as well. After all, if Christ could forgive those who nailed him to the cross, surely you could forgive those who repeatedly hurt you, right? In reality, it's not that simple because it's not that clear. Our offenders continue to offend while we numbed our pain and grew our anger. Anger in and of itself isn't bad, mind you. Anger can be a shield to protect us from further hurt. And while anger will protect us from hurt, it will eventually keep the good out as well. Anger will keep us stuck in the past, stuck in our pain. It will keep the offense fresh in our minds and the pain fresh in our bellies. It allows the offender to keep hurting us over and over again. Granted, it's not easy to let go of the anger. We can feel justified in our anger, and we will fight hard to hold on to it because it helped us escape a bad situation. After all, anger is more productive than despair. And because our anger has helped us, because it has shielded us from further pain, we're afraid to drop the shield. We bring our old emotional wounds, the familial scars, into our relationships, hoping love hides them from ourselves and from those we believe to be our soulmates. Whether you're in any type of relationship or you're just trying to be happy, if you want to forgive, you have to be willing to drop the anger. You have to be willing to drop the shield. You have to forgive. In the words of Don Henley in the song In the Heart of the Matter, he sings, "I'm learning to live without you now, but I miss you sometimes. The more I know, the less I understand. All the things I thought I knew, I'm learning again. I've been trying to get down to the heart of the matter, but my will gets weak and my thoughts seem to scatter. But I think it's about forgiveness. Forgiveness. Even if you don't love me anymore." I believe it's about forgiveness as well, and not just because I'm an Eagles fan. And I'm referring to the musical group, by the way, not the sports team. Once I was willing to forgive, I had to learn how. Before I could learn how to forgive, I had to change the definition I dragged behind me from my childhood. But before I could understand what forgiveness means, I had to learn what forgiveness doesn't mean. Forgiveness does not mean that you excuse the offense or you act as though the incident never happened. Forgiveness does not mean that you allow the offender to remain in your life, or that if you choose to maintain a relationship with the offender, that there still aren't things to work on. Forgiveness does not mean that you shouldn't have any more feelings about the offense or that you have to tell the offender that you forgive them. Once I realized what forgiveness wasn't, its definition was exquisitely simple. For me, forgiveness means to cease to feel resentment against the offender. For me, forgiveness means letting go of the resentment of the offense. And while the definition is simple, the execution of it is not. How do we cease to feel resentment against those who inflicted so much pain upon us? How do we let go of the pain? How do we let go? A few years back, I posed this question to the therapist I was seeing at the time. Her name was Carrie, and I explained to Carrie that I needed an action plan. I had adopted a definition of forgiveness that made sense to me, but I couldn't work out how to live within it. I needed to know what to do in order to let go. I needed specific steps. Carrie introduced me to a process called the Sedona Method. And the Sedona Method is also a book written by Mr. Dale Doskin. And that name is spelled Dowskin. The author created a practical process to help us get from point A, which is a place of hurt and anger, to point B, a place of inner peace and emotional well-being. According to the author, we all have 4 wants, and we hold on to the hurt and the subsequent anger and a variety of other emotions to satisfy one or more of the following basic wants. And here they are. The first is wanting to control or wanting to be controlled. The second is wanting approval or wanting disapproval. The third is wanting security or wanting to die. The fourth is wanting to be separate or wanting to be one. Now, before you say, hey, Amy, I don't want to be controlled, or, oh my God, this is so stupid, I don't want to die, and you completely discount the author's message, please, please, please keep in mind that what I'm providing is the equivalent of the Cliff Notes of Mr. Doskin's book. So please don't judge his process by my inability to explain it in 1,600 words or less. You got it? Okay, awesome. Let's move on. Interestingly, according to Mr. Doskin, before we can let go of the hurt and the subsequent anger and any other emotions we feel around the offenses, we have to allow ourselves to fully feel them all. This can be extremely difficult because many of us have spent our lives trying not to fully feel the hurt and the anger from the offenses perpetrated upon us. The hurt is so great, we feel it would consume us. Plus, being angry isn't allowed because it means you're not being nice. Dear friend, I promise you the hurt will not consume you, and you can be mad as hell and still be perfectly nice. What I'm going to do next is describe the Sedona Method to you. It's simple, it's easy, and it's effective. Okay, there are 3 steps to this. I'm going to describe each of the steps, and then after you listen to this podcast, when you're home or you're in some other safe place, I want you to find a comfortable place to sit and do it. Don't do this when you're driving a car or you're operating any type of machinery because a lot of emotion is going to come up. And I want you to start with anger because we're talking about how to forgive. And before you can forgive, you have to let go of the anger you feel toward the offender. So here is a Sedona Method. 3 steps, as I said before. And the first step, you're going to welcome the anger. Don't hold back. Get pissed off. Really feel it. You may feel that anger in your chest or in your head or both. For me, I feel fear first, the fear of being controlled through lies or manipulation, or the fear of disapproval, of not being enough. So for me, fear grips my abdomen and then anger shoots into my chest. You may see a color. It may be yellow, it may be red, or it may be both. Sometimes I see red, sometimes I see yellow, sometimes I see both. But whatever you feel or wherever you feel it, just go with it. And then once you're mightily pissed off, then you go to step 2. So step 2 has 2 or 3 questions. And if your answer to the second question is yes, then you don't need to ask yourself the third question. So a quick overview of these questions. The first question is going to be, in this moment, could I let go of the anger in that moment? Right? And the second question would be, in this moment, would I let go of the anger? And if the answer is no, you say, okay, when? Ask yourself these questions kindly and don't beat yourself up if your answers are no. Remember, this anger's been with you for a long time. It's been your shield, and it can be very scary to drop your shield permanently. But the thought of maybe lowering that shield for a moment isn't so frightening. Okay, so step 2, here's the first question. Again, ask yourself, in this moment, could I let go of the anger? If your answer is no, it's okay, as I said. Just take a deep breath and gently ask yourself the question again, and then again, and then again if you need to, until you can find a moment in which you can say yes. And once you get to that yes, and I know you will, because you're only going to do it for a moment. The second question is, in this moment, would I let go of the anger? Remember, you're asking yourself, would I lower my shield for a moment? And if your answer is yes, then note how you feel in that moment. And that, my friend, is what letting go feels like. It feels light. It feels weightless. It feels free. And once you've let go of this anger, you can use this technique to let go of any of the other emotions you feel around the offense. And you can also use this anytime if anger pops its head up again. If it's tripped your trigger, you can use this method to let go. Okay? So think about it like washing your hair. Lather, rinse, repeat. In this case, it's could I, would I, if not, when? Could I, would I, when? Okay, I know you're going to get this. As I said, it's like washing your hair. Lather, rinse, repeat. Could I, would I, when? And as I said, you can use this method anytime you feel those old familiar feelings rise up in you, rearing their ugly heads. And you know what? We let go of things incrementally. So you may have to do this more than once to let go of that anger. Because remember, that anger has been with us for such a long time. So you may have to do it daily for a while, but so what? I mean, it's like anything else. The more you do it, the easier it's going to be to let go of something that trips your trigger. And you're worth it, aren't you? And if you can't say a quick yes, I'm saying it for you. Yes, you are worth it. Dear friend, are you ready to feel better? Are you ready to be happy? Are you willing to take back your power? Are you willing to forgive? If your answer is yes, then now you know how. I'm wishing you peace and plenty of letting go. Until next time, this is Amy, your gray girlfriend. Hey, it's Amy. Did you know that what we tell ourselves about ourselves impacts every decision we make? Every decision. So if you're feeling stuck in any aspect of your life, RTT can help. Want to know more? Go to amyblairlawson.com or click on the calendar link in the show notes to schedule your complimentary 30-minute consultation. Oh, one last thing. I can't forget the legal stuff. You know what I'm talking about. The language a lawyers write that I have to read to you. Well, here it goes. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. While I am a rapid transformational therapy practitioner, a certified divorce financial analyst, and a licensed investment advisor, this podcast is not intended as a substitute for a private session or a consultation. Got it? All right. Until next time, wishing you peace and plenty of all good things.